For the longest time, the rules for getting found online were pretty simple, right? Get to number one on Google. But in just the last couple of years, AI has completely torn that playbook to shreds. So let's dive into this brand new world of search and figure out what the new rules are together. It all really starts with this one kind of staggering number. Right now, a full 60% of all searches on Google end. Well, they end without a single click to an outside website. Just let that sink in for a second. You ask a question, Google gives you an answer, and boom, that's it. The journey is over right there on the results page.
And this right here, this is the fundamental shift. Search used to be a directory of those classic blue links, basically a list of options for you to go and explore. But now it's an answer engine. It's designed to give you the information directly, basically turning itself from a portal to the web into a destination all its own.
What this really means is that the old map, the one we all use to figure out how people find information and discover new brands, it's completely useless now. The ground is literally shifted under our feet, and the need to adapt is, well, it's very real, and it's happening right now. Okay, so what's wild about this is just the sheer speed of this change. I mean, look at this. While traditional search is kind of holding steady, AI-powered search traffic has just exploded. We're talking a 527% increase in just 1 year. This isn't some trend that's on the horizon. It's a tidal wave that's already hitting the shore. So this new world obviously demands a whole new goal. The biggest strategic shift you have to make, really, is to stop just focusing on ranking number one. Instead, you need to start focusing on becoming the source that the AI actually trusts and decides to cite in its answers.
But this whole thing creates this really fascinating paradox, doesn't it? On one hand, it feels like AI is just killing website traffic, but on the other hand, it's creating a totally new and, frankly, an incredibly valuable kind of visibility.
And here's the data that really breaks it down. When an AI overview shows up in the search results, the overall click-through rate plummets, down by 61%. That's the bad news. But here's the kicker. The specific brands that get cited inside that AI answer, their clicks actually jump by 35%. The clicks might be fewer, but they're way more valuable, way more qualified.
So the big question is, how do you get cited? Well, this has created an entirely new field, Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO for short. It's really the art and science of building your content in a way that's specifically designed to be picked up and referenced by these AI models. I think this quote just nails it. Traditional SEO is all about trying to please a ranking algorithm just to get on the list. But GEO is about feeding a citation algorithm so that you become the definitive answer. It is a completely different way of thinking. And that leads us to the next massive shift. See, to get cited, you can't just stuff a bunch of keywords onto a page anymore. That game is over. Now, you have to prove to the AI that you are a legitimate, trustworthy authority on your topic. And the way AIs figure this out is by thinking in terms of entities. An entity isn't just a word, it's a real-world concept. It could be your brand, a key person at your company, or a core topic you own. The AI is basically building this giant web of knowledge around these entities to figure out who the real experts are.
And the payoff for building this kind of entity authority? It's huge. Brands that have these strong, consistent signals all over the web, signals that prove who they are and what they know. They're getting up to 10 times more visibility in these AI-generated answers. 10 times!
So the framework for building all this authority is something Google actually calls EEAT. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. These are the core signals that an AI is looking for to decide, who to believe. But, and this is a really critical point, there's a common misunderstanding here. Real authority isn't about what you say about yourself on your own website. As this report from Good Firms points out, what really matters is what other people are saying about you. You need that consensus from others. We're talking brand mentions, podcast appearances, links from credible sites. The AI is looking for that external validation.
Now, this all sounds pretty great for the brands who can figure this out and adapt. But this whole shift has created a massive challenge for the very foundation of the open web. The creators and publishers who actually make all this information in the first place.
I mean, think about it. If search engines are just giving us the answers directly, and 60% of searches don't even result in a click, it raises a pretty serious question. Who's paying the price for the convenience of getting these instant answers? Well, researchers from the University of Oxford have a term for it. They call it traffic hoarding. Google is changing itself from that portal that sends you out across the web into a destination that keeps you locked within its own ecosystem. And this essentially starves independent blogs, news sites, and forums of traffic, which, as we all know, is the absolute lifeblood of their business.
So the proposed solution to this has been to let publishers just opt out of having their content scraped and used by the AI. But as these same researchers argue, this presents publishers with a choice that isn't really a choice at all.
They call it a Hobson's choice. A publisher can opt in and let their content be used to train the very AI that's making them obsolete. They're basically forging the instrument of their own eclipse. Or they can opt out and just suffer a huge competitive disadvantage as they vanish from AI answers and their traffic just dries up. It's a lose-lose.
Okay, so given this really complex, kind of messy new world, what does the playbook for success actually look like? How do you not only survive, but actually thrive in this new era of search? Well, it really boils down to these 4 key steps. First, shift your goal. Stop thinking about ranking and start aiming to be cited. Second, build real-world authority. Focus on those entity signals and all that external EEAT. Third, optimize your content for the AI using GEO principles. That means clear answers, citable facts. And finally, number 4, you've got to change how you measure success. Stop obsessing over just clicks and start tracking AI citations and how many people are searching for your brand name directly.
Which leaves us all with one final, and I think really critical question. The internet as we knew it was built on a world of links and options and exploration. But now, as search starts to become a single definitive answer, we really have to ask, who gets to write that answer? And what does that mean for the future of how we all find information?